So there's a new dev server, and there's also a new update coming. This is the Kings of Battle dev server, at least the first of probably a few, maybe. I don't know, but obviously this is what you want to see. This is the F-111A. Yeah, I didn't think something like this was going to ever get added into the game, but it's finally here. But before we get into the F-111, go ahead and hit that like button, and of course subscribe if you're brand new to the channel, as we do a quick rundown of all the stuff that's planned for the Kings of Battle update. So of course, aside from the F-111, we have some additions to the rest of the tech tree. For example, this is the M109A1, and it comes in two versions. There's the long-barreled one, which you see here, and the short-barreled one. Main difference, of course, being higher muzzle velocity, so slightly longer range and different trajectories and all that sort of stuff. But the main thing you want to see is what it actually does, right? So the M107 shell and the proximity fuse version of it. Very similar to what you get in the Vidar, you can see over here, although unlike the Vidar, the M109 does not get the laser rangefinder. So that is going to be a little bit of a downside. It's more of your traditional artillery piece. I don't really know what War Thunder's doing with this whole artillery game thing, but they've added a few recently, and it's making me wonder if they're going to do proper artillery soon. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows? And of course, one that you might have seen more recently in some of their posts is the Vickers Mark 11. This thing is massive. This view right now does not do it justice, but it genuinely is massive. It's also equipped with a 105mm cannon, which has access to heat rounds with 400 mils of pen, as well as the C76A1 Sabo rounds. Pretty decent, all things considered. It is also at 8.7, so bear that in mind. It puts it roughly on par with things like the T54E1. What I have noticed is that bulletproof glass is the highest thickness of anything on here, so don't expect a lot of protection from this. But it does go 105 k's an hour, so that's pretty cool. Also coming up is in the Italian tree, the Leopard 4070 at 4.3. Yes, a Leopard 1, like a Leopard 1 chassis vehicle at 4.3, and the reason is it's technically an SPAA, but it only has 20 degrees of elevation for some reason. This is also the same 40mm Bofors cannon that you more or less get in quite a lot of other vehicles, honestly. I think it's the same as like the Crusader AA, but it has different ammo and I think a slightly longer barrel that translates to 93mm of pen, so it is actually gonna be more like a light tank and less like an SPAA. And while the Leopard's armor is not something to write home about, at 4.3 though, 70mm of armor is not bad. The French are also not left out. They are getting an M26 Pershing, but it's exactly the same as the other Pershing, so we're gonna talk about this, the AMX-10P. This has a 20mm cannon. It is very tall, as you can see, comparing it to whatever that is that just went by. It's pretty tall. It's like a Martyr if the Martyr was twice as tall. And it has about as good armor as the Martyr, actually. So, typical infantry carrier type thing. It is also, as Mike Goes Boom pointed out in the live stream, there are so many vehicles named AMX-10. Like we have the AMX-10M, we have the AMX-10P, there is also, I believe, a 10RC as well. Somewhere, I'm not seeing it. Weaponry wise, we've got this 20mm cannon which has HVAP rounds which do 57mm of pen. That's about it. I mean, there isn't really much else to say about that. For a vehicle at 5.3 though, that might not be that bad actually. So your mileage may vary, honestly. Alright, and then getting into the air, we have the AH-20 or AH-129D. It's a very, very nice looking helicopter. And this gets access to Hydras as well as Hellfires, but it also gets spike missiles, which are very interesting because these are fire and forget missiles with 1000mm of pen. And I know, the Hellfire has, 1100mm of pen, so 100mm more. Assuming you find something that has more than 1000mm of effective armor, the Hellfire is still there. But the spikes are pretty cool nonetheless. Which of course can lead to some very interesting loadouts, like this one where you have 8 of these spikes and 4 Mistrals as well, just for good measure. Of course, this is by no means an exhaustive list of everything that's being added to the Kings of Battle update, because there is still a lot more that I haven't talked about. And if I did, this video would be way too long. So the F-111, this, and I feel pretty confident in saying this, this has possibly the largest payload of any strike aircraft in the game. At least any jet-powered strike aircraft, I think. Because at its peak, you can carry 50 Mark 82s. And that's not even fully loaded. If you want to see what that looks like, by the way, yeah, there it is. And if you're counting the bombs and thinking there's only 48 on the wings, that's because 2 of them are located on an internal bomb bay rack right here, which is modular because that is also where you can mount the gun. You can kind of just see it right there, right here. There is an extra gun model for some reason over here. And the swing wing hitboxes don't match up, but we'll ignore that. You know, if you're going a little more conservative, you can just do this. But bear in mind, there is an issue. If you have these 2 outer pylons, you can't swing the wings backwards. Because these 2 pylons pivot, these 2 don't. Apparently that's how it is in the real aircraft, so you're kind of locked to straight wing or forward wings sweep like that, which kind of limits your speed a lot. So what I would do instead is do this, where you have the doubled up racks like that, and then you can actually do swing wings. It's the same amount of bombs, but you can go a little bit faster. This of course can also carry 2,000 pound Mark 84s. Only 4 of them though, and you've also got the Snake Eye versions of the Mark 82s. And of course the 750 pound bombs are available too. But of course, there's also this ridiculous setup of 456 Mighty Mouse rockets. Yeah, that's a lot of rockets. And I don't think anything in the game carries more rockets than this. Yeah, the closest would be the Mi-8, and even that only has a maximum of 192 rockets. But if you want to see what its maximum possible loadout could be, there's this. So that's 4 Mark 84 2,000 pound bombs, as well as 19 750 pound bombs, and an M61 Vulcan cannon, and 2 Sidewinders for good measure. At 10.3, these Sidewinders are probably not going to be the most useful thing, because they are only AIM-9Bs, which are not the most useful things even at the correct BR. But you can at least carry 8 of them if you really want to. And it does look kind of insane with that many Sidewinders. But what I prefer to do is something like this. So this is double racks of 750 pound bombs and the Vulcan cannon, as well as the 2 Sidewinders, just because you may find it useful at some point. But we're gonna find out what this looks like in an actual game. Of course, this being the dev server, it means the battles are gonna look a little strange. So here we are, full loadout of Mark 82s. Well, let's see how long it takes for us to get off the ground. Got the flaps down, burners on, and we're rolling. Now, I don't know if the flight model on the dev server is complete. I doubt it is. There's probably going to be some changes made anyway. But this is fully spaded and with a maxed out crew. So, and we're airborne at 280 kilometers an hour with a full bomb load. I mean, I know these are really big wings. I just didn't think they'd produce that much lift. That is insane. All right, let's pull the flaps in. Now, of course, with all 4 pylons on each wing, we're not going to get any wing sweep. All right, you got wing sweep mode. Yeah, payload blocking wing sweep control. You see that? So I can't swing them back manually either. But it's fine. Looking at the way this maneuvers, by the way, look at this roll rate. It's absolutely incredible. Also, this is a new map, in case you were wondering. This is Southeastern City. I think it was a helicopter PvE or one of the custom mission maps before. But it's available now, and it apparently has some hidden tunnels around the place that you can fly through. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, you can see as we're approaching 0.81 Mach, the wings are starting to wiggle around a little bit. They also are a little bit limited on countermeasures. You can see the count up there, flare and chaff of 13. There's 26 total countermeasure slots. They are large caliber, so, you know, they might be a little more effective, but yeah, it's not going to be great. All right, we got the rocket loadout for this one. And also, I just want to show off that. That's the gun port. And there's the internal bomb bay for 1 bomb. You have a singular bomb. It's still really weird that that's a thing, but yeah, we have that. There's a piece there that's moving, which I don't think it's supposed to move. But, you know, dev server things that I'm sure will be fixed at some point. Such as the fact that the aiming mark for the rockets is all the way over there. So, even though this does have CCIP, it doesn't work for this. Nor does it work for the cannon, because we don't have a cannon ballistic computer. And what's also very strange is that even though we have ACM mode for this radar, which has this insane search range, we don't have a radar gun sight or radar missiles. So it kind of is a little bit pointless to be able to track an enemy. But I'm guessing maybe the radar gun sight's not added, or maybe the F-111A doesn't have it. But yeah, for now, it's just like that. Alright, by now I'm sure you're wondering what it looks like when 400 rockets fire. So let's go for it. Okay, something hit me at the very end there, and I'm not entirely sure what it was, but I seem to be fine. I think we're fine. But also, I still have 16 rockets left. So, you know, I'm definitely gonna make use of those by putting them in the dirt over there. Oh, I almost forgot about our bomb. Yeah, let's use the bomb too. I just gotta turn myself around without a wing. This could take a little while, especially since I've kind of gone from flying to falling with style pretty much immediately. Yeah, I think it was the AA gun that hit me as I was doing that. It's kind of a problem, especially because it's shooting at me still. But I might be able to maneuver this bomb over that way. And it's away, and there we go. I got him in the end. Although it's probably time I bring this one back to base. It's seen better days. Oh, just look at that, it's an F4S. Definitely not something I could do much about. But there is another F-111 chasing after. Oh, did he get him? Oh, he might have just blown himself up. Never mind. It's fine. Yeah, seeing a takeoff rollout like this, it does kind of put it in perspective just how much of a payload the F-111 has, because that's an A-10 over there, which is roughly the same sort of size. And there's the A-6E TRAM, or tram. As much as the Aardvark does look like a much larger plane, it really kind of isn't. And I've always had the sort of impression that it was just massive. And I mean, it is big for a fighter. It's not big for a strike plane. But I'm sure you're wondering what a full bomb load of Mark 82s looks like. So here we are. You may also notice the fuel drain is kind of ridiculous right now. And that's just the afterburners doing that, because when I turn them off, it starts to look a lot more normal. But this is the sort of plane that'll turn 40 minutes of fuel into about 10 minutes of fuel if you leave the burners on. So it's good to take more, especially since you can. Because if you'll notice, 45 minutes, that's pretty much the minimum, or just about the minimum. You can take an hour or more. Honestly though, the more I look at this, the more I realize this exact loadout is going to be more common in ground RB than it is in air. Because air RB, you'd want that speed. You'd want to be able to swing the wings back. Ground RB, not so much. You probably don't even need it. So this is a pretty scary loadout to have. Alright, I see a target over there. That's a convoy of tanks that are going through the city. It's a pretty nice city, actually. Pretty big city. It looks like it could be based on, like, Hong Kong or something like that. All these high-rises and stuff. I mean, I see a map named Southeastern City and I think Singapore, but this doesn't really look like that at all. So, your guess is as good as mine. Alright, here we go. And come on, bombs away! Oh yeah, that's a lot of bombs. That's only half our bombs. Not even. I mean, it's the fact that this could do this in ground RB at virtually supersonic speed. Which, incidentally, is kind of what the drag bombs are really good for, too. I always wondered what the point of them was. But apparently, yeah, it is pretty good for that. And away we go. Alright, we got 15 more bombs. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, we're being shot at. Oh no. Who did that? I don't know who hit me. I'm in a flat spin. Oh no. I'm gonna have to bail out. Oh yeah, there's no ejection. Yeah. Although it's apparently coming. So if you're wondering about the escape pod from the F-111, yeah, it's not in the game yet. Alright, and slightly smaller bomb load this time. I got the 750s on here, but I've got fewer of them. I got 24 in total. And that's so I can show you the lovely swing wing that's happening right now. You can just see this wing just coming back. It's really nice, smooth animation. They're almost all the way back. And there we go. They're all the way back, or just about. Which kind of highlights just how big that tail is. Seriously, look how huge the tail section is. Absolutely insane. But yes, we are going faster than the speed of sound. And it does look just incredible with the wings back like that. More wing sweep than an F-14. I think that's actually correct because, yeah, that wing sweep angle I think is actually more than the F-14. Absolutely insane. Also, by the way, did you know the air brake is literally just the gear door? I didn't know that. It does have spoilers on the top of the wing too, which you can see when it turns, because that's how it rolls. But yeah, that's actually something I did not know. It also does use the spoilers when you land, but only when you land, which I think is just one of the weirdest things about this plane in War Thunder. I mean, it's not strange that a plane would do that, it's just more strange that this is the only plane I've seen doing that in the game. And I feel like that's just every plane does that. But yes, here we are in a plane that can honestly be mistaken for a fighter if it wasn't so huge. Alright, I'm gonna feel a little bit bad for doing this, and only a little bit bad, but I think those flares are doing their job pretty well. And that shows just how useful those AIM-9Bs really are. Alright, F-105, where's he going? Alright, we're gonna go for this AI A4B, because I just want to see how effective the M61 is on this. Oh, I hit it. I might have been aiming a little too low. Oh, there we go. Got it. I've burnt up most of my fuel by leaving my burners on, by the way. Well, there we go. But also in the world of things that are going to be scary in Ground RB, we have this, the AH-129D from the Italian tech tree. It has a gun that can fire almost all the way behind it. Almost. But also a particularly scary set of spike missiles, because what this thing can do is this. And there we go, this one's away. I'll go with that one over here. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here, where it's just, oh, I'm just gonna track you, there we go. And I can literally turn away, and it's still gonna hit the target, because these are fire and forget missiles. Just like the spikes that are on the KF-41. They are fire and forget. The difference is these can be fired from far away. And yeah, they don't have the same sort of restrictions, frankly, that a ground-based spike would have. Not that they would have line of sight issues anyway, being that they are fire and forget. So you can fly away and you'll be fine. It also has this nice little 20mm gun over here. But also, if you feel like it, you have Mistrals, which are gonna be kind of useful for taking out things like this. I don't know if this has got the lock-on range for that MiG-15. There we go. God, those are fantastically fast missiles. That is actually kind of scary how fast those are. This cannon's not bad either, being that I'm able to just sort of lock on like that. And yeah, it's doing a pretty good job of tracking. That's impressive. I mean, it's not the most powerful thing. That's impressive. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Aardvark itself. Definitely going to be a very scary plane in Ground RB. And in Air RB, it's debatable. I mean, let me know what you think down in the comments about how it's gonna really perform in Air RB. Personally, I think it's gonna be a ticket bleeder in that, yeah, it's gonna do ground pounding and pretty much nothing else. You might see the occasional guns kill against another plane, but generally speaking, everything's gonna be done well and truly, yeah, on the ground. But, it's definitely going to be one of the scarier things to be able to spawn in Ground RB, and I'm really curious to see how that's ever really going to be balanced properly, just because the sheer amount of destruction that you can lay down is actually insane. And of course, to end it off, we're going to drop all 50 500-pounders right over here on Wake Island. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and of course subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. My name is Panzer, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Now imagine there's a whole bunch of tanks under that. Some people are gonna be really annoyed. Also, I didn't drop all 50, I have 2 left, but we'll ignore that, it's fine. It didn't happen. I'll see you next time.